I'm live. All right, so I'm running behind schedule, 7 minutes behind schedule. So hopefully everything comes together. It is Mama Chat. This is just our kind of weekly Mama hangout. And I'm going to say this again once everybody gets in, but today let's talk about taking care of you. And this is just a lot of about you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you try to take care of everybody else, because if you fall apart, you're not productive at all. Hello, Claudia. Thank you for making it. You're the first one in. So I do want to tell you, I'm coming from the reality of life. I'm just trying to be encouragement from the trenches of motherhood. As you can see, all my dirty laundry's out there in the open for you to see. Nothing hidden here. We're a lot between chaos. In fact, I was caught up in my day that I forgot it was 2 o'clock. So that's why I'm late. My daughter came out and she's like, Mom, you have Mama Chat. You need to get busy. And I was like, oh, you're right. I do. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. I got a little good girl moonshine going on. Because honestly, it doesn't matter what your diet is, even though Trim Healthy Mama kind of coined it, it is probably one of the best drinks you could drink for yourself. And those that don't know what good girl moonshine is, it's essentially lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, a sweetener, and ginger. And it's good. All right. So Crystal's made it. Angela's made it. Lee has made it. So I have been kind of dealing with some stuff lately and dealing with other people. And it kind of started getting me realizing, we've talked about in the past, like you've got to take care of yourself to be effective. So, and here's what I mean by that. Because it can be strung in so many different ways. Like, oh, what do you mean? I can be a better mom and not be healthy. That's not what we're talking about. But there is a lot of, you have to have self-care. You have to take care of yourself, especially in the chaos and in the time space. I have come off of being a stay-at-home mom for the last 10 years. And really for the last 3 or 4, I've not done the greatest job taking care of myself. And I'm doing all the studying for this exam that I'm going to take, my boards. And it's giving me the privilege to get out more. And it's giving me a privilege to kind of already have the time made that I can kind of sneak in something for myself. And I'm going to tell you, just the 1 month doing that has changed where I was just 2 months ago. So 2 months ago, I had my birthday. I was kind of having a big pity party. I'm just not going to lie. Having a pity party, feeling isolated, feeling, untaken care of, feeling unconnected, and mostly just like with other moms having that. Like I love my husband, and but I just didn't feel that like fulfillment from being connected with and building off each other. And I just felt so isolated and I felt alone. And then I felt like I wasn't enough. And honestly, my friends, this comes from not taking care of myself. This comes from, and it's more than just physically, but just emotionally and mentally taking care of myself. And I'm going to tell you, things have gotten so much better and so quickly, so rapidly. So for you guys, I know we're not like quite into like the things that I feel like there's like 3 real things that you need to do to take care of yourself. And so what are some of the things? So here's my questions I really want to know. And I should write these down because I get so caught up and I forget. What are the things that you run into? Like, what are the things that just, you hit that point and you realize, I have not been taking care of myself and I'm just ready to explode. And do you feel alone in this? Do you feel like you're the only one like not handling kind of deal? And then what is it that you do that helps you like get yourself back in the game, that you kind of go and rejuvenate in? So let's see. Sparrows and Butterflies made it. She says she loves the title of this one. Thank you. Crystal at Connecting the Dots is here. Tina made it. Michelle made it. Tanya made it, but she's at the doctor's with her husband, so hopefully you can stay in. Green Gables is in the house. And I just have to say, Green Gables, I don't say this enough, but I just so thankful that you are committed to showing up for my live feeds and being committed and just taking the responsibility to help me moderate it. You guys, when it comes to these mamas that show up with the blue wrench, I couldn't do it without them. I just couldn't, because they really step in the game. They got a good idea of what we want to moderate and take care of. And then I don't even have to worry about that. So just a huge thank you to Green Gables. Crystal Van Meter says, I've been following A Better Life with Fly Lady Cat, been 1 week, and it's really been motivating me. Oh, awesome. Is that just like beyond like getting on the Fly Lady, or is that like a full book and she's doing like living your best life and all of that kind of stuff? I haven't heard of it. I mean, I know Fly Lady, and I've done Fly Lady over years, and then I don't do it anymore. I should, but I don't. Joelle says hi. Stephanie says, I'm doing an awful job of taking care of myself. I have done just what I said I would never do, putting myself last, and I watch my mom to do that. Oh. Tracy Woodman's here. She says, hey, Trish, from Sasha and I, for now, I guess she's got to go see her grandma. Can you please pray for us? My grandma's not doing well. Doc says she could go anytime, that we need to say our goodbyes. Oh, I'm so sorry, but yes, I can. I want to start that list. I know. Gotta take a moment and write it down. Grandma. Amanda made it in. Green Gables says, my pleasure. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Lee says, I do a detox soak once a week for 30 minutes. Oh, that's so nice. Tina says, I'm horrible at self-care. Joel says, me too. Boss Boy says, hello. Lee says she's also eating healthy and drinking lots of water. I don't need a lot of care, just the basics, and I'm good. That's awesome. That's good. The longer you don't take care of yourself, the longer it kind of takes you to get back. I'm still trying to figure out how to take care of myself. Amen. Because it's not like we got a lot of time, money, energy to do it. What got me to realize, this is Crystal says, what got me to realize I need to not put myself last sometimes is when your health is getting bad and you're not eating right and you're getting out. Yes. Boy Boss says, I recently decided to take better care of me, and after getting a checkup, found out I was anemic. That explains how tired I've been. Yes. So one of the things that's been happening for me is, I'm giving a lot of, I got one of these big books. Let me pull out one of these big books. I got like this huge book, right? And so I've got like a couple of these that I'm trying to go through, and I'm trying to get my brain working again. And I was given the realization that I should leave the house. And I wasn't really prepared for that. In fact, I was talking to my girlfriend today who suggested it, and I was like, you don't understand. I go, it had never crossed my mind that I should leave the house in order to get work done. I'm always kind of used to settling and just trying to figure out how to get it done and being frustrated that I can't. So I'm like, okay, I will leave the house and I will study and prepare. And what happened at first when I'd leave the house, nothing would work. I'd get there and I'm like, this is so not productive. And I'd get really frustrated. And I'm just like, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to keep going. But because I'm out already, it was really easy to kind of take a walk. So that kind of happened first, like I'd call my girlfriend up. I'm like, will you meet me to take a walk? And I'd go for a walk. And from that, getting the practice of leaving my house without anybody, without guilt, has been like the first of the gate opening for my life to just take a better turn. I know it sounds crazy. I mean, but being a stay-at-home mom, my husband works, he comes home, he's tired. I respect that. And sometimes it's just so much work to leave the house. It just doesn't feel like it's worth leaving the house. And then you have to have the energy to actually leave the house. So being in a place where I have to leave my house and now I'm out has allowed my brain to kind of relax from mom mode and kind of almost, remember when we used to do the computers and we'd have to defrag? Remember the defragging? I don't even know if they still do that anymore. Where all the files in the computer that got taken out become so messy that the computer doesn't work that fast or anymore. And so you have to pause everything, stop everything, and defrag, and the computer goes, line by line and finds these empty files and puts them where they need to be and whatever it does in the whole bit world of computers. And it can take an hour or two. And if you haven't done it in a long time, sometimes it took an entire day. And when I get out of my house and I'm not like, I got to get groceries, on an errand run, and I'm just getting a little bit, even if it's 30 minutes, my brain starts to do that. And it's funny because I'm going, that was this conversation. And really it had to do with this with one of my kids. And it had to do, something about who was doing what or who was with what toy. And it's like, oh, and become much more like aware of what's going on instead of being caught up in, the difference between seeing the trees in the forest. I'm seeing the trees. I couldn't see the forest kind of thing. So let me read some of the things that you've written. Crystal says, taking care of this now, figuring it out before it's late. My kids need me and I need me. Tina says, saying no is a good self-care, not overextending yourself. Queen of overextending myself. Queen. Just give me a tiara. I do overextend myself. Crystal says, I'm tired too, but it's probably because I've been up since 2:30 in the morning. Whew, I couldn't get to sleep last night. It was like midnight, and I finally crashed. There's just not enough hours in the day. Yes, Stephanie, I agree. There's not enough hours that my children are sleeping during the day. Let's rephrase that. There's way too many hours sometimes of time where I'm obligated to other people, but not enough hours when I am not at mercy. I'm not responsible for other people. Not enough hours. Crystal says, Amanda, if you are a believer, talk to the Lord and help you out with what you need to do. Homeschool for Twos in the house and Creative Minds. Just want to tell you too, thank you so much for being dedicated, showing up with a wrench. I appreciate it. And I just want you to know that you make my life easier and that I can do my job because you do yours. Homeschool for Two says, I decided I was going to focus on my mental health and physical health in 2018, which required financial sacrifices I usually don't make in myself, but it's made me a much better wife and mom. Yes. Creative Mom says, hi, yes, I need a major defrag, but nursing baby, short leash. Yes. I love the defrag metaphor. I'm glad you guys can picture that. I mean, can you remember how the little blocks would move and they'd go through and they get put into places? That's how I feel. I mean, that's like how I feel. That's the visual I see. Tanya says she's with us. Dream, achieve, repeat says our state testing is this week. I'm anxiously waiting for this to be over. Oh, bless your heart. Let me write that on there. Dream, achieve. We just gonna pray for you. Repeat. State testing. Boy Boss Mama says we take our kids to all their appointments and don't make time for our own. Oh, I'm so guilty of that. I really need to begin getting with my practitioner, and I haven't for years, because it's just too hard. Like now I got to find a babysitter. Now I got to do this. It's just so much work. It's like, I'd rather not. And when I've gone through like the really bad episodes of depression, or not depression, exhaustion and anxiety, I didn't even bother to take care of myself. Not going was taking care of myself enough because it was just so hard. Joyful Journeys in the house. Crystal says, so thankful we don't have to test in South Carolina. Yes. Everybody's saying hi. Momming with Amanda's made it. Thanks, Crystal. I am and I do. I spend my time in the Word. Okay. And I enjoy it. I just don't have my own hobbies outside the kids anymore. So that's what's hard. So two things have really evolved. So one is making time to go out and be with mommy friends. And the other one is really coming down to like health and wellness kind of aspects. So I got these two aspects going on. This one's eating right and exercising. It's got its thing going on here. But, so I say three, but there's these two major parts: health and wellness, and then mental reprieve, mental rejuvenation going on. So what has happened for us is I really had myself a hissy fit. I'm just not going to lie. I was not in a good place. My 40th birthday, I was completely exhausted. I had expectations. I didn't do a good job. I'm going to own up to my part on this. I didn't do a really good job conveying my expectations. I didn't get my friends together. I kind of just thought it was going to magically happen because I was too tired to do anything about it. It didn't happen. Mama had an epic meltdown. Just complete meltdown. Didn't feel like I was enough. Where are all my friends? Why aren't people including me? Do we all, okay, I can say this okay right now. I can say this without being completely heartbroken, without being embarrassed, because as I began sharing my heart with some really close friends, they began taking down their walls and sharing their heart with me. And guess what their hearts were saying? Why is nobody including me? Why can't I just get out? Why have I not? Where are my friends at? And we've all gotten so busy, especially locally. I mean, I'm assuming you're all right there with me. We've gotten so busy in just the momminess and wifeness and homeness and homeschoolingness. And are we doing a good job? That, like, we're all waiting for somebody to invite us, but we're all kind of too busy to do it. And then we feel so left out and we don't feel human anymore. And it's just become a hot mess. I got to catch up. Green Gables says her youngest is graduating Friday. Oh, you want to come visit me? He chose a song, Send Me on My Way. I need to pick me up today. Thank you for the mama chat. Oh, listen, I got a job for you, Green Gables. I have a job for you in your community for you because you're going to fit right in on this. I'm kind of taking that job too, and you could do it too. Joelle says, you guys are my mommy friends. And hold on, I am not. I'm going to have to say, I felt so bad last week because the county showed up about the driveway and I had to deal with that. And I was just like, not a good time to do that. You guys are my mommy friends. Crayons Aviator says, so peeps. Tracy says, have a blessed day. Got to go. See you later, girlfriend. Enjoy that grandma time. Crystal says, chaos can't have anyone over syndrome. Oh, they can't have anybody over. I hate that syndrome. I have that. And we live in 700 square feet. We got that. Crystal says, Trish, sometimes we have to have a big meltdown and hissy fit. Creative Misaligned says, here we have visits from a homeschool facilitator. The visit for one child is this week, and Monday has the final day of tax season. I'm an accountant in Canada. Girl, you need some rest. You deserve all rest. Compass Roses made it. Homeschool for Two says, I had to learn to get over my pride and break down and tell my husband what I need. That's not been easy for me to do. Okay. So, we're all sitting there and we're having this kind of the world, like we're looking out our windows. My window's right behind the computer, but I'm looking out and it's like you feel like you don't see them doing this, but it's like the whole world's busy having a life. And as much as we love our children, I'm looking at my child right now. And she's doing dishes. She must love me a lot. Let's see her real quick. Well, I'll show her off. Oh, let me make sure I get her there. There she is. Wave. Dishes in hand. Anyway, she doesn't do them often, but I might have had a really big hissy fit earlier today. Big hissy fit. So anyway, I look out my window and I'm just like, what? The whole world's doing something and I'm missing it. And I love my children. I want to be here. But at the same time, I'm just like, I want to get out. And I kind of had a few people kind of talk to me and just having a friend that's just like, she's not getting out. You ever have, I know you guys know, one person in your mom world, whether you know them really well or you just know of them, one person that you're just like, that's rough. I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she's keeping it together. I would go crazy in her situation. And think about that one person. So that one person came to mind this last month for me. And it kind of hit me because I'm talking to, a couple other people, and it kind of hit me that I said, I've been sitting here waiting for the world to notice I need to go out. The world to notice I need companionship with another mom, that I need to get away from the house, the whole 9 years. I need the world to notice. And here's what happened. The world has not noticed. And then I began sharing with people. And what I've then noticed is everybody's waiting to be noticed, that they need this. And I said, here's the other aspect too. I don't know if you get into this. And we kind of talked about this after my birthday. There's so much expectations. It's like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this. Who wants to come with me? And there's so many expectations. It's like, it's never good enough. And then you're kind of frustrated, and then it doesn't live up to your expectations. So I've changed my tone. I've gotten babies fighting. Katie, will you go check on them? Is the aspect of, maybe I need to make it upon myself to be the coordinator to go rescue these moms that need to get out, and not make it be about me and my needs. And I'm going to make it about them and their needs, kind of, sort of. Make it about them, and then I'm going to have a great time. And that's just me, who I am. I would have way more fun coordinating it than somebody coordinating it and making it about me. Does that make sense? And it kind of relieves a lot of pressure. So I started asking around. I'm like, hey, I just need to go out to be human. Will you want to come? You would not believe. I started writing and I ran out of room on my hands. How many moms were like, take me now? And I just went, oh, they're in such a place just as me. Like, they couldn't. And it's funny because the idea of like somebody saying, hey, we're going to meet up here, you want to come? The idea of getting out of my house to make that happen and drive myself there, totally overwhelming, because there's already so much I have to do to get out. The idea of going to pick somebody up, not overwhelming. I don't know why this is or whatever, but for me, not overwhelming. And in all honesty, going somewhere, having somebody pick me up is so much easier. So I just kind of said, hey, if I picked you up, would you come out with me? All these moms are like, yes, I need this. I need this. I need this. I will go. I will go. And so I took like the first one, and I was just like, hey, I just need help to feel human again. They're running back and forth. To feel human again, will you come out with me? And I took her, and I'm not going to lie, she was kind of teary-eyed most of the time. She hadn't been out in 5 years. She is a full-time caretaker with a pile of kids like me, with a husband who needs a lot of help medically, and she never gets out, which means we couldn't leave till 8 o'clock. And it was kind of like, well, what do we do? And I just said, I'm like, let's go hear the water flap on the banks. You know what I mean? And we did. It's not a far drive. We get, and there's like a harbor and stuff to get to, and we ate nachos. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Absolutely. Creative Mind says, I just love your honesty. You are a person too, not just a mama. That's right. Twin says, the heart says, I made it live. Yes. Creative Misaligned says, this is true. Everyone is waiting to be noticed. It's really hard to ask for help. It is so hard to ask for help. And the other part too is, nobody wants to hear, can I come rescue you? Nobody wants to hear that. Can I come rescue you? No, I don't need pity. But if you're like, hey, will you come help rescue me? They'll totally. Okay, so I know this is like playing mind games, playing the mama mind game of, I don't want to ask for help and I don't want to receive help kind of deal. And so if you make it about them in your mind, and then you tell them to make it about you in your mind, in their mind, everybody's good. If you're like, hey, would you mind going out with me? I just need to feel human. You would do me the biggest favor. In all honesty, they're doing the biggest favor because you're going out. But at the same time, they don't have the responsibility that you're rescuing them. And they feel like they're helping you out and you're helping them out. And everybody's good. And so we did that, and we had a great time. And of course, we cried a little bit, and we threw all our junk. And here's the big part. And my girlfriend and I were talking about this. There's something about the mommy date at the park with the kids. Everybody's presenting like their best dirty laundry. You know what I mean? The dirty laundry. They're presenting their best dirty laundry. And it's like, you can't feel that way. And they tell you like to minimize that sometimes it's just hell. You know, sometimes it doesn't matter if you're the janitor, the garbage cleaner, the mayor, the teacher. There's bad days. And like ours is motherhood, full-time motherhood, and we stay at home. And like for some reason, you're not allowed to have the bad days. And if you're getting around a women like them, they don't need rescuing. Leave them alone. Find somebody else. Find somebody else who's willing unjudgmentally to put the dirty laundry on the table. The biggest thing I found is when you do that, and I had a friend tell me this years ago, when everybody puts their crud on the table, you won't have a problem picking yours back up. If you think yours is bad, let everybody put their crud on the table and you'll pick your cards back up. Because even though you feel like you got it hard and you feel like you got it bad, when you compare what other people are going through, it's really not always your fit. And you're like, I'll take my stuff back. It's okay. And let me tell you, that has been a game changer. Because when I sat there and shared my cards, they shared their cards, and she shared her cards, and she shared her cards. Every one of us was like, I'd much rather have my cards. I know how to deal with mine, you know, and that just made it so much better. And so it kind of worked out. So my one mom I took out, I mean, pulling teeth, cried. She hasn't been out in 5 years. She hasn't eaten a meal without a kid in 5 years. Bless her heart. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I'll get her to come out again. Within 24 hours, she's like, so we're going next month, right? And let's see if we can bring so-and-so and so-and-so. And I'm like, now I might have to be the ringleader, but I don't mind being the ringleader if I got somebody that's like, hey, let's do that, you know, that's popping the ideas and popping the energy and that, you know, is want to play along. You know what I mean? And just huge difference, and just so nice to just, I don't know. I'm inviting people I don't really know that well. We're not longtime friends. I'm just like, your mama kids, you want to get out of the house? Let's go. I got to go. If you only want to eat ice cream, I don't care. If you want to have an ice cream float, I don't care. If you want an ice cream float with an adult beverage, I don't care. Let's just go. And it's been so good. Joelle says she needs rescuing. Girl, then go rescue somebody and tell them you need rescuing. Be like, can you help me? I got to get out of the house. You know, and you might have to go at 8 o'clock at night when the kids are to bed, because then it just makes it easier. You might be super tired. You'll be fine. You used to do it when you were younger. You'd stay out and you didn't even realize you were tired. Boy Boss Mama says 1 day a month, just 1 day out. It's so needed, so refreshing, and hubby needs to and should handle and staying with the kids. Right. Creative Misaligned says, exactly. Pick them up. I can't believe I never thought of this. So simple. Joyful Journey says, yes, I used to think I needed to be friends with certain people. And once I finally let that go and opened myself up to the people God had put in my path, it's been absolutely amazing. Agreed. Crystal says, sometimes all it takes is going for somewhere like the beach or a park with someone helps, even if it's later at night. Just don't get caught in like a weird place at the wrong time of night. Just saying, be safe. But I'm being funny, just being funny there. Mommy with Amanda says, I think I get stuck in that pity party funk sometimes. I just want someone to remember that I'm here too. I've been living it for a couple of years, totally living it. And it was just kind of like, maybe it doesn't need to be about me. It needs to be, I'm going to go rescue moms. Maybe that's going to be my job. I'm going to rescue moms. I have a hard time finding mommy friends. If they've given birth, they're totally up. They're optional. I mean, I was at a 4-H meeting recruiting out. Let's go out and play on my hand with a pen. Like, let's go. Dream Achieve Repeat says we all need accountability partners in life. That's not always our spouses. Self-love is so important. It is. It absolutely is. Compass says, very timely. I did this last week. Out of the blue, I called a girlfriend and said, hey, let's go to dinner. Smart. Joelle says, I have a hard time finding mommy friends. Just look to find a mommy first. If you find a mommy first, be like, hey, you want to go out sometime? Because I need to get out. And then maybe you could become friends. You can even go do mommy dates without people who are not your friends. You'd be amazed. They want to go too. They want out of the house. They seriously want out of the house. Don says, after about 5 years of trying so hard to find my circle, God has brought a few gals. Right? And that's kind of one of the big parts about me is all of a sudden I realized I'm actually being drawn to invite people that are nowhere near a circle I would keep. I mean that in a really nice way. A lot of them are younger than me, so I am the older mom. Don't even care. Don't care. I don't care at all. It doesn't even bother me. I am the younger mom by like 10 years. And some of them are really loud and wild in ways that I'm not loud and wild. They're just different from me. And I'm just like, hey, you want to go out? And they're like, heck yeah. Some of them have been even the moms that are like, you're not from here and you don't play in our baseball league here. You know, not baseball league, but you don't play in our league here in 4-H. And then it's like, you like, I'll get like, I'm 10 years older than you and I don't really care. You know, like some of them are even those moms. And I'm just like, whatever, you want to go out? And they're like, yes, I need to go out. And I was like, I'll remember to call you. We'll be going out. You know, and that just changes it. It's like, I'm going to take all my mommy expectations away. All my expectations, like, this is what my friends look like. I'm just going to find the other mommies and find out. And if I get people like, nah, I'm good. No, thanks. I'm like, whatever. There's more mommies. Everybody has babies eventually. Pepper and Pine, Hannah's in the house. She says, yes, New Year's resolution this year was reconnecting with friends on a regular basis. Now I host a few friends weekly, even if all I serve is pizza and salad. Right? And, you know, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be expensive. You could do something easily at somebody's house or at like your parents' house. I know, isn't that funny? Like you can go crash like a relative's house that doesn't have kids. And you can keep it simple. You could, you know, even if it's go and exercise, it wouldn't even matter. I mean, some of my most rejuvenating times is walking. It really rejuvenates me. And walking in beautiful places. Oh my goodness. You know, of course I'm walking for fit, but my brain flows. You know, I get a good time, you know, just conversing ideas. We go into conversations we typically wouldn't have because, you know, just adrenaline's running, the wind, you see people, you see beautiful sights. It's just absolutely amazing. Pray to Mom says it's so nice to know so many are right where I'm at. We're all in this, and it's kind of one of these things we're not allowed to talk about because you're supposed to love staying at home every day and you can't complain, you know. And it's not about complaining, it's about the reality of like, I need a break. Your husband gets to leave work and come home. We work at home, so sometimes we need a little walk away and come back kind of deal. Dawn says, learning to be okay with where everyone is, where I'm at, and let's just be moms that need each other. So true. Yeah, and just like relax. And it's like, I might not live what you're going through as you're listening to everybody's stories. I might not live what you're going through, but I understand. I have empathy, you know. Just don't get with catty women. Let the catty cats stay with catty cats. Catty cats, stay with your catty cats. That's just safer because there's some mamas, you know, just, you know, be a little mindful of that. But whatever, you can go out one time and not go out again. You can go somewhere else. You're dating your mom friends. Weight Watcher Mama says, sometimes God gives us friends who have no kids. My best friend couldn't have children. She adores mine and loves on them. We have a great time together with or without my kids. Moms, they're not moms. Friends without kids can be like your golden ticket. They don't have to work around a schedule. Their schedule's a little bit more often open. And like they still know where the cool places are to go. I mean, they're like the golden charm. And they think your kids are novel. So then they're kind of more apt to babysit when you probably don't, you know, when it's hard to find them. and they're good too. You can go out with them. Now, if you want to gripe about your life, it doesn't really go so well. But if you want to get out of the house, they're really good for getting out of the house. They just don't always understand like why you can't just leave. You know, they kind of have a hard time with that. Boy Boss Mama says, sometimes we put limits on ourselves, and sometimes it's because we are shy and introverts. I think that's when it's harder. I'm right in the middle, more extroverted, so it helps me. Remember, if you're an introvert, I know y'all can call somebody or send a text message. I mean, mine was just a Facebook Messenger. I'm like, listen, I need to go out. I need to feel human. Can you get away? Let's go out. Like, that's all I said. You can do that too. I feel like a multi-level marketing coach. This is how you're going to make connections. Don't mix those two together. Keep those away. But, you know, you can go out with just one other person. In fact, getting back into the thing of it, that's fine. Go out with one other person. You know, start slow. Morning with Mama says, I recently connected with an old friend that doesn't have kids, and she's like a breath of fresh air. See? Cool Mama 3 says she's so happy to be listening today. Yay! Joelle says, you are giving me some good ideas. You got to get on it. You got to. Creative Mind says, my husband says, but you're living your dream. I said, I am, but it's my dream. I had friends too. Oh my goodness, right? I am living my dream. I don't want to do anything else but stay at home and homeschool my kids. I mean, except with like a cleaning lady and like a professional cook and, you know, like lots of amenities. That's part of the dream too. But I don't want to be doing something else. But that doesn't mean I don't deserve a break. And I don't have to earn it. Girl, ladies, do we not put that limit on ourselves? Like, well, I don't deserve that. You know, and it comes from a place of like getting so used to just putting ourselves last that we stop taking care of ourselves. And then we feel like, well, why should we start now? Who's doing that? Is there hands? I won't call you out. Crystal says, I have several mom friends at church. Being an introvert, I usually don't have any urge to go to do girl outings. I love fellowshipping during and after church. I think being there 3 times a week is enough. I didn't call any of my church friends. I'm just saying I didn't call any of my church friends because I'm telling you, 10, 12, 11 years of going to my church, 12 years of going to my church. If we hadn't made time to do that, we're not making time to do that. We're just not jiving like that. If it hasn't happened organically after 12 years, whatever. I need to go make other relationships. And I'm always like waiting. And I don't want it to be all about, you know, go have fellowship. Get out of church. Church is good. Go to church. Great place. But be mindful that it doesn't have to evolve completely around that. You can go have good friends everywhere. And you don't have to be in the same building to make that happen 3 days a week. This is what I want, but I want to be mentally and physically healthier living my dream. Okay, Claudia, but it starts here. It starts here. It starts just getting out, even if it's just going for a walk, getting out without the kids, being in common that, being in that camaraderie that allows you to convey and have, you know, have somebody just be like, oh, yeah. And be like, no, you're worth it. You know, having that person be like, no, you're worth it. When you feel like, oh, you know, whatever. So Creative Mind says, not doing self-ultimate care creates an unhappy monster. Yes. So that has been the first one. And I'm going to tell you that first one has created this, just me leaving the house. So in some ways, it's awesome getting out with somebody and getting used to it. It's really kind of hard to make that transition to go on your own. But one of my things is just walking, getting out of the house without anybody, without an expectation of, I got to be back in 10 minutes. And you got to work with what you got, getting out of the house and walking. So I have like a really awesome picture. I'll have to post it on Instagram today, after this. And one of the places I walked was actually where my wedding picture is. So see that one right there? And you see it? Oh, I can't figure out which way. Right there. So I actually went to that very spot. I was walking, I went to that very spot and took a picture of me there just to remind myself, like, good things. I you know, am reconnecting and telling my husband, like, I just didn't realize how much I needed that. I needed to be around the water and needing, to have that aspect. So Green Gables, do you get your job now? The last one's going off. Go rescue the mommies. And then I'll give like order to your day now. Kind of deal. Rescue the mommies with the mommies. Boy Boss says, I love my church mamas. Sometimes going over to their home so kids can play and we can chat is so helpful. It is, but just remember, that's not your only option to find friends. Y'all are inspiring me. I'm going to declare this summer the summer of mom. Oh, I love that, Claudia. The summer of mom. If I can do it. What's your favorite thing to do with your friends? Do I miss that part of the convo? What's my favorite thing to do with my friends? Honestly, it's walking. Does that sound lame? My daughter says I sound lame. I like walking with my friends. It's like, being back in school, you walking down the hall. It's not that at all. And I like the area that's close enough. I enjoy like sitting and going out to eat or, like having a cup of coffee and stuff. But maybe it's my ADHD. Sitting that long will start to make me crazy. And I just feel like that conversations happen more organically when you're walking. And then if my friends get in shape, if I get in shape, we could go walk some 5Ks. And then it gives us like a reason to go somewhere that's not normal. And then we can kind of meander our way back. I'm thinking long term here. Just saying, you don't have to run 5Ks. You can walk them. I have a girlfriend heading to Texas to do the Fixer Upper 5K. I'm like, you crazy. Awesome. That's like so cool. You're going to Texas. You're going to Waco, Texas to go do something. But the 5K gives you reasons to do it, and the walking kind of puts you there kind of deal. So what are your guys' favorite thing to do? So if you could go do something, and now if you're so far out of it, be careful. Make simple expectations. Like, what do you like to go do? Because I could use some help too. I don't think going out to eat every time we go do something is healthy or like budget friendly. Just saying. What is it that you like to do? And then, where was I? Green Gables is going to lunch with her friends tomorrow. Pepper and Pine says hi. Sodbuster's in the house. Everybody says hello to Shalise. Momming with Amanda says, I would love to do that. Joelle says, no, I go walking with some friends about twice a week. And don't you guys feel like you have like the best mental clarity? Crystal says, I think for me, doing things by myself recharges me more. I like talking and dinner with friends, but that doesn't recharge introverts. It zaps our energy. I like thrift shopping. There you go. And sometimes you don't need all of that social. And maybe it's just like you're good for one person, one time a month. You get together, you get to consult with each other, counsel each other, and then you're good and you take care of yourself. I'm a little more needy. I am that friend. I tend to be a little more needy. And I'm okay with that. My favorite is makeup window shopping at Ultra. Ooh. Up sparrows and butterflies, go on hikes. Nice. Mommy with Amanda says, I used to love to do painting with a twist. It'd be fun too. Okay, so here's one from Mommy and Amanda, because we did this on a 4-H thing. But you could totally, they have like YouTube videos on how to paint something. You guys could go in all together, find somewhere to go that, you got Wi-Fi and you're allowed to paint. But you could totally put on your own little painting on it with a, I can't talk, on it with a twist at somebody's house. You don't actually have to show up somewhere. And you could, go in together, and it'd be way cheaper. In some ways more relaxing and funnier. You know what I mean? So just an idea out there. Game night, Joyful Journey game night. There's a group, and so talking about feeling left out. They were doing cards, and I'm like, listen, I like that game. You need to like. And I felt really left out, only to find out they like totally stopped playing. And I was like, oh, they weren't not inviting me. They just weren't doing it anymore. So again, if I want to make that happen, I need to create the event. Sodbuster Living says, we're walking. Got it. I just did a plant lesson. Lots of seeds coming up. Oh, how cool. Dream Achieve Repeat says, window shopping, cheap and a good workout. Ooh, nice. Claudia says, I would love to have a half an hour on the porch with quiet coffee and a girlfriend. See, and that's an awesome, like, these are great ideas. I'm going to come back and watch so I know what to do. I love my babies, but just once. No babies allowed. Yes, love them, but just one day a week, month, week, whatever you need. Green Gables says, we used to have a craft night once a month. We'd all get together and work on individual projects. That was fun, but we haven't done it for a few years. I have ran into that too. Like, I used to get away like for a weekend twice a year, and I would go scrapbooking. And that was like the thing, you know, we'd go scrapbooking. And we just don't do it anymore in the same crowds. But at the same time, you got to realize people kind of come in through shifts and seasons. And don't be upset if you have somebody come in your life for a while and then they move on. It's just the way it is. And who you have today doesn't mean you're going to have them in 10 years. It's always going to be evolving. And you have to be ready to like continue, you know, inviting people and inviting people just to invite people. Joyful Journey says, I need a porch. Me too. Boy Boss says, great idea, painting with a twist via YouTube. You know it. Crystal says, love hiking in the mountains and kayaking. Oh, I love canoeing, but it's just kind of work. Mommying with Amanda says, four-wheeling is one that I miss too. There's like a couple hours from here. There's like places that you can go and four-wheel on that's like safe property and stuff. I don't have a four-wheeler though. But, you know, that would be really cool, like, to get yourself together and doing things like that. Dawn says, laugh out loud. Sometimes I need to get out with a crowd and then someone I just need one or two close friends and chill. Sometimes don't you like being in the background? Like, I love being center of attention, but I also love going with crowds and being in the background and just kind of hanging out too. I have knit nights. Ooh, I like that. My dream is to have a monthly card game lunch. If I lived close, I would be there. I like card games. Claudia says, oh, I know. Virtual Google Hangout with my friends in my head. Hey, I told you, like, I do this more for self-medication than my generosity of let's hold a hangout. You guys do so much for me. It's not even funny. Like, having these virtual hangouts when I wasn't leaving the house really brought me out of just complete isolation. And I didn't even realize how isolating I was. This was great. Glad I made it. Ciao, everyone. Bye, Bowie Boss. Green Gable says, I've gone geocaching with friends. That was fun. I've never done that. I would love for somebody to take me geocaching so that I can see what it's about. I probably want to do it all the time. Casey says, hey, I have the same Fitbit and color on my wrist. You know, I was looking on Amazon about getting the different ones, and I'm like, I really need to do that. I need to check into that. Creative Minds says, don't take it personally when friendships don't work out. Some people are for a season and some are for a lifetime. Amen. So true. Okay, so Mommy with Amanda says, playing pool is nice, but it is difficult to find a place that doesn't have a bar atmosphere. It is really hard. You need to find somebody who has a pool table. And then you go to their house and play. And then you guys bring the food. So then it's like, oh, I just cleaned and you guys take care of everything else. So we're actually at the end. I didn't even get to the second part. We're going to get to the second part next week. So this week, definitely, like, just kind of break, mental reprieve, mentally walk away, mentally separate yourself so your brain can defrag, and do it with people. Do it with people you don't know. Find somebody and get to know them, you know. And I'll be honest, I felt so crazy. Well, one, like, hey, I kind of need to feel human. You want to come out with me? I need somebody to go out with. And I felt like a little crazy in that aspect. And then after I went and having a great time, feeling like a whole new person, I realized, you know, that's crazy. I haven't done this sooner. That's crazy. I waited so long, but I kept thinking that the whole world was busy doing what they want to do, and it was just me. And then realizing everybody's waiting to be rescued. Casey says, I am in complete isolation. My neighbors in my subdivision don't like me because I like owning my own things, and the other because I'm homeschooling. Girl, there's way more people outside the subdivision. You need to get out of the subdivision. Like, go to something. For me, a big help, and I'm going to plug this, and, I'm going to plug this. You ready? It's a nonprofit plug, so trust me, you ain't plugging anything crazy. 4-H. I love 4-H. I probably love it more than my kids. And I love it because their mom's there. And the moms that are still there for club are friend-making material because you're still there. You know that they're a mom that's involved. They're a mom getting it done. They're not a drop-and-go mom. I'm not saying that you're a bad person if you drop and go, but I'm not a drop-and-go. I like making friends with other drop-and-go friends. And I like it, too, was the aspect that they're not, hey, quit with the yo-yo. She's hitting the floor. The aspect, too, is that it's not just homeschool kids. It's not just church kids. It's this huge, diverse group. And it's just so nice because you never know who you're going to meet. You're meeting because you like to be involved with your kids. You're wanting them to learn new things and the whole aspect. And what I love is I'm not going to say I've made friends. I've become acquaintances with a lot of people, and I got no shame in my game. You want to go out? I need to get out. You want to go out? And I don't mind asking. And I'm going to get I got some no's. They're like, no, I'm good. I like to be at home. And I got some girl, you take me, get me a hotel room. I'm not making it out. I'm not going home. And you got both ends of it, and that's okay. And it's going to be great. And I'm really excited. Guess what? So if you're in Florida and you are going to the homeschool convention, I am working a booth at the homeschool convention. I get to represent 4-H. I have worked with the state of Florida 4-H, and I'm going to be working with them to just share the love and share the information with all the homeschoolers in Florida with a 4-H booth. So I'll be working the 4-H booth. And what's really cool is, like, I'm working with another 4-H mom. Another 4-H mom I just met who homeschools, and we're kind of got the same vision. I'm like, hey, why don't you come? Because you bring a whole different side. Like, her life's totally different. She lives in the city, and they're doing one child, the whole 9 yards. We're totally different, demographics, different interests. I'm like, come on, we need to, come do this with me. And it's really cool because I get to do that with somebody I don't even really know. Oh. Crystal says, going on an overnight camping trip with my family. We know gorgeous spot by a mountain stream. It's amazing. Sleeping in hammocks. Oh, that's nice. Tina says they love 4-H. My kids are heavily involved. Awesome. Green Gables says, Casey, there are great homeschool outlets to find like-minded moms. Check your local resources. And listen, you can find like-minded moms who do not homeschool, who do not go to the same church, and who do not eat the same style. And you can still be like-minded moms. So don't worry if they don't look like you or if they don't act like you. You can still have the same minds and have the same state of being or whatever, even though you're different. And you might really love that they're different, when you get past that. Momming with Amanda says, I want us to try 4-H next year. You should totally. It usually begins the first part of September, depending on where you're at. You'll want to find your state's Florida, so I would type Florida 4-H search, and it would turn me into florida4h.org. And then from there, you would find your local extension agent and how to get plugged in. There's typically summer camps that you can get involved with now. And they could be anywhere from a day camp to a week camp. If it's something new for you, you might not want to do like an overnight thing, but there's like really cool daytime learning camps. We've done one for sewing and rockets and cooking and gardening, planetarium. Hi. Okay, I'm gonna be off here in a minute, okay? Did you eat a lot of cookies? No, 2. Casey says, I'm going to have to, okay. Joyful Journey says she thinks that's funny. I need a hotel because I'm not coming home. Casey says, there's a local 4-H by me. I was planning on checking out. Definitely checking them out. Yeah, so just type in Texas 4-H. There's a lot of programs in Texas. Kind of deal. So definitely want to get on that. Sodbuster says, we need to have a praise for the homeschoolers in California. Y'all united. Woo! I was so impressed. And I was so impressed with all the, sorry, got all excited. Social media that went on as sharing what happened, fighting for their right. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Casey, you got to get to bigger places. Go somewhere new. Go somewhere new. And just ask. Be like, hey, I need to get out. You want to go somewhere? You want to hang out? You know, message them, text message to people you know. Mommy with Amanda says, I have 5 kids between 2 and 10. We need to find something for all of them. 4-H is where it's at. So I have 6 kids from ages 13 to 3. My top 2 are the intermediate, so that's the middle school age. I have 2, I have 2 that's like upper elementary next year, and then I have 1 that's a clover bud, which is like 1st and 5th grade and 2nd grade. And then I have baby girl that gets drug with me everywhere. And so you have these different things that they get to be part of, and the older they get, the more they get to do, and the more they get to do in more places. So it's really cool. And what I like about it is, you know, if I was trying to get with a homeschool co-op, I have to make sure like all of that works out. And with this, it's a network of volunteers. It's all put in place. It's all nationwide down the infrastructure, the way it works through the state. You know, it's really a great thing to go into. There's a mom buddy out there just waiting for you. There is. There's a mom buddy probably around the corner waiting for you. And you're waiting for her. So that's definitely true. So you'll find your tribe, Sodbuster says. You'll find your tribe where you would hang out. If you're a park people, outdoor and play, you'll meet your tribe there. Right. Green Gable says, gotta run. I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks again, Trish. You're welcome. So if you're still here, give me a thumbs up if you haven't done so already. If you're a reader, cough, cough, then you'll meet your tribe at the library. That's right. And you're going to find your tribes kind of where you like to be. And, you know, if you're not an outgoing person, you're going to find a not outgoing person. All right. So there you go. Y'all can Instagram. You can Instagram me at Just So Trish too. All right. So I do need to get off here. We're going to talk like health and why it's important to do something. I'm not saying one thing or another. I just, you know, we used to do Mama Gets Fit. I loved Mama Gets Fit. But, you know, sometimes it can get so crazy trying to like get healthier. How about just be healthy? So let's talk next week about like being healthy and how that helps you be a better mom. I'm going to do a quick prayer for Tracy and Dream and Achieve. And I'm going to get off here because I have not eaten lunch and I just don't know where my day went. No, I'm good. I'll get it. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this time together. Thank you for just the epiphanies that you bless us with, dear Lord. Thank you for the companionship that we get from each other, Lord. Don't let us forget that we can reach outside our computers and connect, and that we deserve, but not just deserve to get out of our house for a little bit, but we're responsible to do that. That is part of our self-care, to defrag our brains, emotions, our brains mental, in order to do the job you had listed for us. There's nobody with an occupation that's going to work and working 24 hours, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. Every occupation, whether it's 12 hours on, 12 hours off, everybody has a break. And as moms, we sometimes get kind of caught up between that balance of working and being mom, that we forget that we require our own rest. Lord, even you put it out there, 6 days of work, 1 day of rest. And we need to remember to follow that, because we're not going to be effective in our jobs. We're not going to be able to get to what we need to get to if we're not taking care of our vessel. Lord, be with Tracy as her and her daughter are dealing with the goodbyes, the soon goodbye with her grandmother, dear Lord, and just give peace and comfort and strength through that. Dear Lord, be with those that are taking their test for the year in their homeschool communities, and just give comfort to let that be finished and to be done well, and to be hopeful, and not just hopeful, but comforted. Thank you again for the technology. You've blessed us in these times. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, so I will talk to y'all later, and I will see you next week with all my dirty laundry.